Yes. How can I help you? Are
Hello,
you?
can you hear
How can,
me all right?
yes, I can hear your French accent very well.
Yes, yes, I'm
All
French.
right. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. So, what are
Uh,
you? Are you like what, Christian, atheist? What are you? Just
Atheist.
atheist. Okay. Yes. How can I help you?
Atheist, and I started to study religion a few days ago, so I know basically nothing about Islam. I have a few Muslim friends, so I
Uh-huh.
know a bit about Islam, but other than that, nothing. I have a Quran, uh,
Uh-huh. Sure.
but
So
I not.
you have Algerian, and Moroccan, and Tunisian friends or something like that, or or
Yeah,
different
yeah,
friends?
I have Muslim friends.
Yes.
All of them are from Turkey.
Turkish. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right. So go ahead. How can I help you? Do you have a
Yeah, I
specific
have
question
a
you
few
want to ask?
questions about
Yes.
not Islam in particular, but more like religion.
Sure.
So, my first question is, and I'm sorry if it's a really basic question,
Okay.
uh, why is there evil in the world? Not why can we commit evil, but the way I view the world, and more specifically to animals, is that evil is necessary. For example, animals are forced to kill each other to cause suffering to one another to survive. And I don't see why all loving God would create the world in such a way. For example, why can't God have created the world with only photosynthesis? So that way we can live and we don't have to murder each other, for example.
Okay. First, I want to start with a very important correction. The idea of the most loving, the idea of all loving is not a term that we give to God. The
Okay,
most loving is how we describe it.
okay,
If you imagine all loving means that there's nothing, like everything is going to be butterflies and this and that, then you will have an issue. Yes. And also, if you I don't know what we have with butterflies today, yeah. And also, if you imagine that the creator only has one attribute, this is another problem that you have.
hmm,
The issue with the people who view this idea of the problem of evil is that they view a creator that the religious people don't usually believe in, creator abstract of all of his attributes, like he's given only one attribute, which is love. No, the creator has multiple attributes. These are, for instance, the attributes of wisdom, knowledge. So the
yes,
creator can see something that we do not see. And that's why you will see this very important pattern in the Quran. You'll see the angels asking Allah in the Quran. When Allah created Adam, or the human being, and he's going to put him in earth, he said that he's going to do that. Then the angels asked him, they asked Allah, they said, are you going to place someone on earth who's going to cause bloodshed and corruption? Essentially what you're saying. How did
yes,
Allah Azza wa Jalla respond? Allah said, Inni a'lamu ma la ta'lamun. I know that which you do not know. The thing we need to understand as humans is that our knowledge specifically is limited. We don't have all knowledge and we don't have all wisdom. Meaning, we can view something, even in our human day-to-day life, as evil when it is not evil.
hmm,
So I'll say the most important thing I want to say is that the default position in everything is goodness, is not evil. Evil is an exception. That's why, for example, you're healthy for the rest for almost all your life, and then sickness is something that happens to you not often here and there. That is
yes,
not the default position that you live in. Murder is not the default position that people live in. Overwhelmingly, majority of the people are living their life. So the reality is we're living in a state of bliss in most of the situation, and then there is an existence of evil within that life of goodness. So it is not that the whole world, as some people try to put it. So that's the first
yes,
thing That's the first thing I'm going to say. Second thing I'm going to say is that evil is relative. Something might be bad for you, but good for me. For instance, we talked about sickness. I'm sick. Sickness is not necessarily the best for me, but it's good for the doctor. You know,
mhm,
doctor is probably gonna get
yeah, yeah,
out of business. There's no more business if I don't get sick and you don't get sick. So that is good for him, but it is not good for me. So that good and bad also is it's relative to the individual and relative to the situation. You have someone going and gambling, losing all his money, but the other person won all his money. So maybe it's bad for you. You have a terrible day, evil day, but the other person has a fantastic day, like he made a lot of money. So
yeah,
evil can be relative if you look at the bigger picture. That same evil can be good for someone else. So Allah Azza wa Jalla, when He says, "I know what you do not know," He also gives us examples in the Quran. For instance, He gave us the example, and I'm going to give you this Quranic example in chapter 18 of the Quran, where Allah gives the example of someone called Al Khidr and Moses. And Allah is teaching us from this story is that we can perceive something to be evil that doesn't necessarily mean it's evil. So in that story, you have Moses and Al-Khidr. I'll just give you one of the instances. There are 3 incidents that happened, but I'll just give you one. They were looking to go to a specific place, and there some people in a ship, they give them a free ride, So very nice, very accepting. They said, come, okay, we're going to take you for free. We're not going to take any money from you. So they took them with them. Then Al-Khidr, who was with Moses, he started making a hole in the ship. So then Moses said to him, how could you do this? These people took us for free. And how could you return their favor, essentially, by damaging their ship? Mm-hmm. So Al-Khidr said to Moses, didn't I tell you you're not going to be able to be patient with me? So he told him in the beginning, you're not going to be able to be patient with me. And there are 3 things he did. And every time Moses said, how could you do this? Now, in the end, when Al-Khidr explains to Moses, he says, now this is separation between me and you. Now, I told you you're not going to be able to be patient with me. So now let me explain to you. So he goes on to explain to him the situation of the ship. Why did he do that in the ship? He says that this ship, we were passing in the sea and there was a king. We're going to go by a king. And that king takes every perfect ship. So that king, if he sees a ship and that ship is good, is perfect, there's no issues with it, he takes it for himself. So he made that damage, specific damage in the ship, so he can this is a favor for these people, because now that king is not going to take their ship when they cross by the king. Now, when you see the situation, you assume, oh, this is terrible, this is horrible. Yes. How could you do this? But this is the first vision, because you don't have the full picture, the full image, the full wisdom behind what happens. And who has all wisdom is the creator. So you might perceive something necessarily, you don't understand it, you think it's evil, you think it's bad, you think it's suffering, but in reality, that is good for you. You might suffer, you have a very bad toothache, but that toothache is actually giving you a warning, bro. Let me go to the doctor. There's a big issue happening here. It's actually helping you, so it's good. So pain and suffering is not bad in every situation. You go to you're not familiar with medicine. You go to the doctor and you see them amputating someone's arm, and you say, "Oh, how could you do something so horrible?" But there is a disease that would spread to the rest of his body, and he's going to die. You don't know the whole picture. You don't know the whole wisdom. So you perceive something. On the first instant, it looks like it's horrible, but it's not. Mm-hmm. And Allah tells us in the Quran, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الْقِتَالُ وَهُوَ كُرْهٌ لَكُمْ, that writing have been prescribed upon you, and you hate it, you dislike it. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ, you may hate something and it's good for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّ شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ, you may love something and it's bad for you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, Allah knows and you do not know. This is the important thing, is that God has the full picture, has the ultimate wisdom and knowledge. And that's why these things that we perceive are not necessarily bad for us. Many wisdoms we can see in life. For instance, when I look at someone else who doesn't have something and who's suffering, I appreciate the health that God has given me. And I start thanking God for that which he's given me that he's not given to that other individual. Mm-hmm. So it also gives me an opportunity, a test. Am I going to help that person or not? Okay, that person is in need now. They say he's poor, he's whatever. Am I going to use the blessing that God has given me to help that individual or not? So this world is a life of testing. And because it's a life of testing, there will be good and bad. And if there isn't bad, it cannot be a test. The only way you can recognize good is with the existence of evil. If everything was good, you wouldn't know what evil is. And if everything was evil, you wouldn't know what good is.
Yes.
So they balance one another, and they are necessary in this world of testing. And that is why we have the afterlife, in which everything in the afterlife now is balanced out. Everyone who did evil will be punished for their evil, and those who did good will be rewarded for the things that they did. So this is just a summary for the whole concept of the idea that you have. This suffering for us as believers, we perceive it differently. I might suffer, like the wife of the Prophet said, even the small needle, if it hits you, it removes, expiates from your sin. The suffering that you can have in this life can remove the sins, because you're doing evil things. Can elevate your status in the afterlife. You can have a better place in paradise because you lived in that life. So evil and suffering, as I said, is relative. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's bad for everyone as you perceive it. And you don't understand the whole picture of this life. This life is a test. That's why you perceive something, it might be the opposite of how you perceive. Does that make sense?
Yes. Is there a test for animals in Islam too, or just humans?
Well, animals will have basically on the day of judgment, they will be turned into dust. So they're not going to go into paradise or hellfire or anything like that. But animals can be a test for us perceiving their suffering, us causing them suffering, for instance. Okay. So our actions causing animals suffering can be a reason for us to enter hellfire, actually. There is a narration. The Prophet ﷺ told us there was a cat, that a woman locked that cat, did not feed it, did not give it drink until it died. And that woman entered hellfire for doing the action. And the Prophet also told us another story about a woman that was, let's say, a prostitute. She was doing evil deeds in her life, and she was walking in the desert. She saw a dog. The dog was thirsty. His tongue was out, and she went into the well and used her shoes and gave that dog water, and Allah forgave her for that reason. Mm-hmm. So these animals' existence is also a test for us of how you'll deal with them, how we'll treat with them, etc. There's a story about a prophet that he was bitten by an ant and he destroyed the whole colony. Then Allah spoke to that prophet and then he told him, why not only the ant that hurt you? Why did he destroy the whole life and existence? Because these animals and this life, they are there. They exist for our sustenance. They exist as a test for us. They exist for multiple reasons, and they exist to glorify Allah. Allah says in the Quran, there's nothing except glorifies Allah in their own way. But we don't understand their glorification. We don't understand their languages. So these animals exist. But you see, even between animals, because Allah is the most just, the animal that hit the other animal with the, had 2 horns and an animal had no horns. Prophet told us on the Day of Judgment, Allah will seek retribution for that animal to hit the other animal now. Because it didn't have horns in this life. So in the Day of Judgment, it will take back its right and it will hit it back like it was hitting it. Even between animals, Allah is teaching us, look, this justice will even extend to this animal kingdom. So this is the explanation to the question you're asking.
Okay, thank you. And my other question, but I guess it's maybe not even a problem. I just have a hard time in imagining why has God created such a huge universe if it's only for us.
Sure.
Do you see where I'm getting at?
I
don't think that as human being we can.
Let me tell you the funny thing about this is I find super funny is that if the Creator only created Earth or Earth and just a very small thing, then everyone would say there's no God. Where is your evidence? I don't see it. There's just the Earth that just got created. Where's that powerful God that you're talking about? If he was there, you show us how powerful he is. This is how atheists are going to speak if there is no universe. So Allah created this universe. Allah Azza wa Jal says, He's the one who created 7 heavens. And from the earth like them. يَتَنَزَّلُ الْأَمْرُ بَيْنَهُنْ. The command of Allah descends between them. لِتَعْلَمُوا. So you can know. That Allah is عَلَى كُلِّ شَيْءٍ قَدِيرٍ. He has power over everything.
Yes.
وَأَنَّ اللَّهَ قَدْ أَحَاطَ بِكُلِّ شَيْءٍ. And that Allah has encompassed everything in knowledge. So this vast, magnificent universe that makes you feel like a speck in a dust of nothingness is for you to understand the magnificence of the one who made you. Allah says, لَخَلْقُ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ أَكْبَرُ مِنْ خَلْقِ النَّاسِ. The creation of the heavens and earth is greater than the creation of the humans. But most humans do not know. So Allah created this vast, magnificent universe so you can ponder on it and look at it and glorify and understand and take into account the power and magnificence and greatness of that Creator that created you and submit to Him. And know how insignificant you are and how unneeded you are as a human being. But He still gives you the chance. He still communicates with you. He still sends you prophets and messengers to know His love and wisdom and greatness. So this is why you have this universe around you.
Okay, so we can see how powerful He is. Okay.
Yes.
And my last question is, for example, I will take myself as an example. I am not close to the idea of accepting God or Allah. I think it's the same, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
So I'm not close to accepting Him as my God, but I am created, or I am the way I am in such a way that I need proof.
Okay.
So if God knows that I need proof to accept Him, why doesn't He give me proof for myself? And for example, there are some people in the world who are born, live their life, and die without having ever heard of the Quran, of the Bible.
Yes.
So why God would hide Himself from these people?
Okay, sure. These are the super questions. And remind me, I forget the second question.
Yes.
The first funny thing is this: is for me, it's very funny when someone says, "Why does God not give me evidence or proof?" Everything in your existence and your life is proof. Your existence yourself, and that universe was just telling you is proof of God's existence, is the response to the question you're making. So when I have this arm, right?
Mhm.
And when this arm is cut by accident, it heals by itself and starts forming this layer, and that layer then starts to close and close by itself, close, and then comes back to being skin again. I didn't do nothing. I'm be sleeping, and this is how this process is happening. I'm sleeping, and my heart continues to beat. I continue to breathe, even though I'm not in a conscious way. I'm dreaming somewhere else, but my body still continues to function. These eyes that I have that are so magnificent, better than any camera in this existence or life. These eyelashes that I have that protects my eyes from the eyebrows and eyelashes, protects my eyes from the sun, is there for a purpose. All of these things about me, my existence, my DNA that is codes, actual codes. You know, it's a code.
Yeah, it's a
code,
language.
and it's exactly, it's a language and it's a process. And if you change one letter in these zillions of codes, your whole system cannot function. Nothing can happen. So this existence of the human being by itself is proof. Not only that now, but the whole universe around you. The universe that exists around you, the zillions of stars of galaxies that exist in a perfect system, in perfect harmony, that allow life to exist the way it is. The question is this: can something come from absolute nothingness?
No.
Okay. So can you explain where the universe comes from?
No, I cannot.
Okay. Whatever creates the universe, whatever brings the universe into existence, it needs to have certain necessary attributes. And these attributes are only found in the creator. For instance, all knowledge. For instance, all power. You have the universe created from atoms, and if you split an atom, you have a nuclear explosion. Okay, go ahead. You're making expressions, so go ahead, tell me.
I don't think that's the case.
What is that?
I don't think that from that you can say that God is the only thing possible to have created this universe.
You create a universe. Why can you not create a universe?
Well, for example, you can maybe create the universe, but you can
what? Create a universe for us right now in your room.
Go ahead. I cannot, but
why not?
I'm sorry. I'm trying to get my thought because English is not my main language, so I'm trying to.
That's fine.
For example, this universe can be a simulation.
No. It's not about now. Okay. It's not about things now.
Maybe I didn't understand you.
No. I can respond to that hypothetical thing. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying to you right now. Oh, you, look! If the universe is a simulation, then everything is a simulation. There's no existence, and we go as human beings by things which we experience in life, mm-hmm. and by things which are evidence-based. So what we do is we experience life and existence every day. We experience a state of consciousness and unconsciousness when we sleep. We experience other human beings and physical realities around us. Therefore, this is what we believe. If someone wants to tell me this life is not that, then they have to bring evidence for that. Can I just make a claim? And I say that always to atheists, because atheists like to go in imaginary lives. I say, okay, anyhow, you can make imaginary life in situations. You could be a potato. I say that all the time. And SpongeBob can be dancing on the moon. It's just ridiculous. You cannot live your life based on baseless assumptions. You can only live your life based on things which are evidence-based and your present first experience that are intuitive to you. Other than that, entertaining hypothetical baseless assumptions is neither here or there, and it's never going to end. So coming back to what I was saying, the universe exists. Now we're accepting the existence of the universe, accepting that we're living in here, which is what experiencing and what we can see and what we live in. Now this existence that we live in, which is called the universe, whatever creates it requires certain attributes. And these attributes by necessity is only found in what we refer to as God. So whatever creates the universe has to have an amount of knowledge you can't even comprehend to expand the universe the way it is, to create these magnetic waves, these galaxies, these stars. You cannot do it otherwise. You need to have power, as I said, you cannot even comprehend, because the whole universe is full of atoms, and atoms are full of energy. You need to be creating time and space continuum. So you're not bound by time and space the way we are bound by it. So you bring time and space continuum into existence, which means you perceive the past, present, and future way differently than we do. You probably see the future because you create time. Now, whatever brings that universe to existence, by definition, needs to have these attributes. Otherwise, the universe cannot be created. That's why you cannot create a universe, because you cannot create a time and space continuum. You cannot bring energy and matter into existence and into a singularity and then expand it and then have these laws that we cannot even comprehend fully. Cannot do that. And because you cannot do that, you're not the one who creates the universe. to something that is not like humans or like the creation. Okay? So it's not a question of maybe yes, maybe no. Okay, go ahead. You cannot make expressions without giving me rational responses.
No.
Yes.
I just don't think.
Yes.
I wouldn't say I wouldn't be able to explain in English, so I think I have to go to talk to somebody that is more experienced in Islam and is speaking French, so I can speak while I'm thinking fully. But I don't think that from that you can say that God is, by definition, the only thing that can have made the universe.
No, you're misunderstanding again.
Yeah, I
saying,
think you're me. I
let me
misunderstand
ask
you, and
this
I'm
question.
sorry.
What attributes do you need to create a universe? I'll try to simplify it in the simplest way. What attributes do you need to create a universe? The universe that we're in.
Be all powerful. That's it, I think.
That's it. No, you need knowledge. How power is not enough. Without knowledge, you cannot have these complex systems.
Well,
etc.
if you are all powerful and you have all of and if you are not bound by time, then you can make.
Okay, so you're adding attributes. You just said only all powerful, but now you're adding more. That's the point I'm making. So it's not only all powerful. What else? You're not bound by time and space the way
If
we
you are
are.
all powerful and
Knowledge.
not bound by time,
Knowledge is necessary.
I don't think it's necessary, because if
Are
you
are objects distinct from one another? Are objects different colors and distinct and different shapes? Yes, that means you had to have a knowledge by definition of what is a circle, what is a square, and to distinct the circle of a square, which will require a will as well. You cannot say you don't have knowledge. By definition, you need knowledge. You cannot have language in DNAs and creation and existence in the universe without having knowledge by definition.
let me think for a bit. The way I see it is that the universe was created by the Big Bang. And for example,
oh god,
no, okay, forget what I said. It's a bad thing. No, it's a bad thing. And I agree.
Sure? Okay, good.
I agree with you. I agree with you.
But you took it back before we talk. Okay.
I agree with you. It was such a dumb thing to say, and I realized it as soon as I said it. But for example, imagine I am the most powerful being. I am all powerful, and I am not bound by time. Because I am all powerful, I can create anything I want.
You're not going to create without a will. You need to have a will to initiate. A will is initiating an action.
I have
you need
a
to have a
will.
will. Okay. Well, all powerful, not bound by time and space. Okay.
And space. I have a will, and let's just say I'm bored and I want to create something. So
okay, so you create the Big Bang, right? You create the Big Bang.
No,
right?
not the Big Bang. Not necessarily the Big Bang.
No. We're talking about the universe right now. No, we're talking about whatever creates the
universe right now. And I try to create something, and I do it an infinite amount of time. Where is this infinite?
Where is this infinite amount of things?
Maybe there are other universes. I don't
know. Again, a hypothetical baseless situation. Remember I told you about atheists and their hypothetical baseless situations.
You know what?
We gotta work with what we have. We cannot work on hypothetical baseless situations. What we have is we have a universe. And if you are going to make that Big Bang that we're referring to, because we're talking about what brought this universe, which we can observe in reality. If you want to create a Big Bang, you cannot do it without knowledge, because you wouldn't know at which point you start the Big Bang. You wouldn't know when to start bringing atoms into existence, because atoms start at a certain point. And if they start at a different point, there wouldn't be universe. You wouldn't know the speed of the universe to expand, because the universe would not exist otherwise. You wouldn't know what is exactly how to make a precise measurement of the electromagnetic waves. You cannot do any of these things without knowledge, by definition. Power alone is not going to help you, because the universe is not going to come into existence without the necessary knowledge of these things. So if you add that into the mixture, which is, I don't know why you don't add it, but if you add that into the mixture, this is what people call God. This is the point I'm trying to make to you. So whatever creates the universe by necessity is whatever people refer to as God. And that's just a fact. Okay, so my point is, it's not about acceptance. It's about reality. And if you look at that's why I said to you, and you asked me now, this is a response to what you say. Evidence. The evidence is the existence of the universe. And understanding that this universe cannot be brought without that. Then there was a second thing that you said. There was people who are created and they never hear about the Quran or the Bible. This is what he said. So in Islam, there's a very simple response to that. Allah says in chapter 17 of the Quran, verse 15, we're not going to punish a people until we send them a messenger. There's a group of people in Islam called Ahlul Fatra. Those are the people who the message does not reach. They're not punished in the afterlife. They have a different test on the Day of Judgment.
So they still have a test, okay.
Yeah, it's the same test that you have. A prophet will be sent to them, but on the Day of Judgment. And then if they obey that prophet, they will go to paradise. If they don't, they go to hellfire. So the same idea that happened to you in this life will happen, but that will be delayed into the afterlife. It's not going to be in this life because the message did not reach you. But the people who need to look at what's going on are the people who the messages reach, which is the overwhelming majority of people. In the past, when things were not globalized like internet and today, Allah sent to every nation a messenger. But now Allah sent the last and final messenger, which is Prophet Muhammed, and he brought this message because time is become globalized. People can hear, you can be in, I don't know, you're in France right now, and like I'm somewhere else in the world.
I am in France,
and we're easily like communicating right now. And the reason we are able to do that and we're doing that is this globalization that we are in. So the question is, are you going to submit to the Creator that created you and into his messenger and prophets that he sent you, or no? That is a question that you should ask.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Let me think.
Have you read the Quran, by the way, or no?
I read it only a tiny bit, and it was a long time ago.
Okay. Well, I recommend you read the rest of it because
I have the Quran at my home.
Okay, good.
Like I said, I started to interest myself in religion only a few days ago, so I have not the time to read the Quran.
That's fine. I recommend you read the rest of the Quran. And as I said, if you do have any other questions right now, you can ask them.
Yeah, I have other questions, but I realized that language is too much of a barrier for the question.
Okay.
I will go to speak to a Muslim that is well knowledgeable and speak French. It will be better, I think.
You're doing very well so far, I would say. Like, you've not been making mistakes. You've been doing very well. English is not my first language as well, but I think you're doing very well. I can understand you perfectly and clearly. Of course, I'm not familiar with any good French speakers, so can I help you with that?
No, I look around at my town. I'm sure I'll find something. But thank you. It was
no problem.
very nice to talk to you.
No problem. Just make sure you find someone who's also understanding what they're talking about. All right. I cannot say your name, so it was nice talking to you. I don't want to mispronounce this. Ulrisse. Ulrisse. Okay. All right. So I'll let you go
Thank you. Have a nice day. Goodbye.
It was nice talking to you. Thank you for your time.
Nice talking to you. Bye.